Where it all began. Freen and Becky's first scene that started everything. A story that started before they knew. Every once in a while, two people meet and unknowingly begin a story that will outlive the moment. They may call it coincidence, destiny, or just good timing, but those who witnessed Freen Sorocha and Becky Armstrong's first scene together know it was something more. Long before fans called them Freen Becky, before interviews, stages, and fan meetings, there was just a quiet studio, a script, and two strangers who didn't yet realize that their connection would change everything. That day wasn't scripted by the director. It was written by something deeper, something neither of them could control. Before the cameras rolled. It was a warm afternoon, one of those calm days before the chaos of filming truly begins. The studio buzzed with energy. Sound checks, lighting tests, assistants running scripts from one end of the room to another. Becky arrived first, clutching her script like a lifeline, nervous but determined. She was still new to all of this, trying to make sense of her emotions, repeating lines quietly to herself. Then came Freen. Confident, graceful. The kind of presence that commands attention without saying a word. The moment she walked in, the energy shifted. A quiet calm filled the space. Their eyes met for the first time. Freen smiled, that kind, reassuring smile that always seems to say, "It's okay, I'm here." Becky smiled back, shy but genuine. And in that single moment, something clicked. Something warm, unspoken, and familiar. It wasn't dramatic. It was gentle, like a memory being reborn. No one in that room knew it then. But history had just begun. The first scene. The scene they were about to film wasn't easy. It was delicate, emotionally charged, intimate, the kind that requires trust. For Freen, it was another challenge to deliver truth through performance. For Becky, it was the test of a lifetime. The director called for silence. The lights softened. As the cameras prepared to roll, Freen noticed Becky's fingers trembling. Without thinking twice, she leaned closer and whispered, "Don't think too much. Just look at me." Becky nodded and did exactly that. When the director shouted, "Action!" the world seemed to slow down. Freen looked at Becky, not as her character, not as a co-star, but as someone she instinctively wanted to protect. Becky's nervousness melted away under Freen's gaze, replaced by something real, something raw. The dialogue was simple, but the silence between the lines spoke volumes. Every glance, every pause, every breath carried emotion that wasn't in the script. And when the director finally called, "Cut," the room fell quiet. No one spoke for a moment. Even the crew exchanged glances, whispering. That didn't feel like acting. It wasn't just another take. It was the birth of a connection the audience would later feel through every frame. Between takes, Freen and Becky began to talk. At first it was casual lines blocking camera angles. But gradually, their conversations drifted elsewhere. Favorite foods, songs they loved, the kind of movies that made them cry. It wasn't long before they were laughing between every cut, teasing each other, sharing snacks, and turning the set into their own little world. Freen, often quiet and reserved, found herself opening up. Becky, curious and full of light, made her laugh in a way few people could. During breaks, they'd rehearse lines together, but half the time they'd just talk. About dreams, about fears, about life. The crew began to notice something. The way Freen's eyes followed Becky when she left the room. The way Becky always relaxed when Freen was beside her. That's when the chemistry became more than just performance. It became comfort. When the world saw it. When that first episode aired, something incredible happened. Fans around the world felt what the camera had captured that day. That spark, that warmth, that unmistakable tenderness. Clips from that first scene went viral overnight. People who didn't even know the series commented things like, "I don't know who they are, but their eyes say everything." The hashtag #FreenBecky began to spread. What started as a single moment on set became a phenomenon that connected millions of fans. They didn't know it then, but that first look, that tiny spark, had lit a flame that would grow brighter with every scene, every interview, every shared laugh. Behind the chemistry. As filming continued, so did their bond. They learned each other's rhythms, when to speak, when to listen, when to just be quiet and feel. When Becky felt unsure, Freen would always be the first to reassure her. When Freen was tired, Becky's presence was like a reset button, a reminder of why they started. Behind the cameras there was no script, no direction, just two people learning to trust, to laugh and to care. That's why fans could feel it. It wasn't manufactured. It was human. It was real. Years later. Today, when fans look back at that scene, it's not just nostalgia. It's awe. Because that one moment, Freen's reassuring whisper, Becky's nervous smile, became the foundation of something rare in entertainment. Genuine connection. It's the kind of story people tell years later, with the same soft smile Freen gave Becky that day. Because love stories aren't always romantic. Sometimes they're built on mutual respect, trust, and the quiet moments when two people simply see each other. Where it all began. So when you ask fans why they love Freen and Becky, most will point back to that first scene. Not because of the dialogue. Not because of the direction. But because, for a split second, time stood still. And in that stillness, two souls found each other. It wasn't loud. It wasn't planned. It was just real. The beginning of a connection that transcended screens, languages, and scripts. A story that keeps unfolding with every smile, every glance, every shared heartbeat. Because some beginnings are so powerful. They never truly end.